Hello and welcome to the Gauge Look and another faction overview for the Radious mod. So this one's a little bit unique. We have done all the major factions now, so we're going to move on to some of the minor factions. Now because these don't necessarily have a full stack, although to be fair, as you can see below, they've got at least half a stack of added units. We're going to do Kislev versus Estalia. Okay, and then we will probably do Border Princes and Estalia, somewhat mixed bag when it comes to the sort of Teb provinces, the Border Princes, Estalia and Estalia. They have some crossover units, as would make sense, so let's just go through this quickly. Kislev, my favourite non-major faction easily in the game, and I really like how they look, I'll be honest. I know quite a lot of lore about Kislev, but obviously there's quite a lot lacking when it comes to unit roster for them. Unfortunately no Bear Cavalry, you can't add your own assets. I have seen some Hippogriff Knights being turned into Bear Cavalry. They look utterly ridiculous, although a little bit funny. Okay, so here's this dude, General of the Empire. Obviously all these factions, because of the lack of resources available when it comes to making new units, are based, you know, around the Empire type units. Kind of makes sense though, so let's go for it. Kislevite Swordsman. Mid-tier infantry, British stalwart, armour and shielded anti-infantry. They're immune to psychology. That is a bit of a recurring theme. Kislevite regular soldiers fighting with spear and swords under the core of the army. I really wish they could switch between sword and spear. That is not a thing in Warhammer, of course, but well, I mean, Total War Warhammer. But it's awesome. It's awesome. I like these guys. I like the shields. I think they come from, is these the Norskin shields? They look awesome. I like them. That must be goddamn heavy though, right, with those spikes? So these are kind of stalwart, mid-tier infantry. They also have a variation in the base game of basically Empire infantry, which are crap, but they look a little bit different. Kislevite Swordsman, Kislevite Spearman, anti-large, armour shielded, charge defense, large force. Just a variant of these. The guys with the spears, again, look very cool. Mixture of spears. Let's see what it says. Just regular soldiers. I mean, psychology, charge defense. Good soldiers, they hold up pretty well. You can get them quite early in the game, and you definitely need them if you ever play Kislev. Okay, now these two here are some of my favourite looking icons, unit icons I've ever seen, and I don't know why. They kind of look like hardcore Roman legionnaires. Not so much when you look at them like this, although they do look awesome. So these are the Crema Guard, armoured, anti-large, charge defense, all very good armour, very good leadership, of course. Causes fear, which is an interesting one. I like it a lot. Weapon strength, melee attack, everything's reasonably good. Crema Guard are a type of elite heavy infantry in the Kislev military. The post was created during the reign of the paranoid Tsar Igor the Terrible, feeling that he needed to be kept safe at night and day from possible assailants. If you live in Kislev, you do need to be kept safe. So I don't think you're too paranoid. Okay, these are the Crema Guard. Easily my favourite. I absolutely love these shields. Don't know why. Don't know what it is. They just look awesome. Armoured shielded, charge defense against all and anti-infantry. Really good unit. Again, they're a variant of these guys. These are, you know, these are the best units you're going to have as infantry, hold the line type infantry. They're maybe, you know, they're not quite comparable to the elites of other units, but obviously Kislev isn't a major faction. Really, really cool units. Look at this guy. Amazing. Okay. Let's move on. The Boyar's Chosen. So these are kind of a great sword variant. You also get the great sword. I think these guys are slightly better. Armoured, armour piercing, melee expert. And they have armour sunder, and this is perfect for when you're fighting against the Chaos Warriors. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's well up for it. He kind of looks like the guy from Kingdom Come Deliverance. I like it. I even like the fact they don't have helmets. It's a bit insane that they're not wearing helmets, but I like it. What does it say about these guys? These warriors are grim, determined individuals that have fought many battles in the past and are often used to lead pulks of warriors against... Pulks? Maybe that is a word that I just don't know. Against invasion forces. These guys are awesome. I like everything about them. They're basically hardcore great swords, and you're gonna bloody need them as the Kislevites. Look at this. Like a Scottish Claymore. Awesome. Okay, we haven't broken them up into like, sort of ranged and melee because there's not that many. Kossars. These are really good archers. Decent armour, good range, good ammunition, weapon strength is reasonably good as well. Kossars are foot soldiers of the Kislev military and are a distinct combination of archers and axemen. The original Kossars were an Ungol tribe who worked as mercenaries fighting with the Gospodars against the Ungols and had adopted a unique style of fighting that had an axe and bow. I probably would like them to be a little bit better in melee combat, but I can only imagine it's really hard to balance something like that, because if you make them decent in melee combat, too decent, then maybe you wouldn't bother with these units, you know. So I get that they're not, but I would like to see them a little better. Same with the Streltsy as well. It's armor piercing. You know, these guys, obviously this isn't a Radious fault at all. They had almost like the halberd things that you could put the gun on to fire through, and they almost had a berserk trait. Well, they did it early on. I don't think they do in the more recent versions of Kislev, but really, really cool. But they could charge into battle. That being said, they're alright. You know, again, they're around that 50 armor. They'll stand up against something like that relatively well, something like the Kislevite Spearmen. But, you know, these are pretty decent units. 160 range, better handgunners, missile damage, good ammunition. And obviously they'll stand up in combat more. Close quarters with various weapons. The Streltsy originated when firearms were first introduced to Kislev by the popular and eccentric Prince Bodev of Erengrad. Bodenev was obsessed with the technology of the Empire and other fighting alongside Ostlanders against the Chaos Hold. Can't quite read all of that that's there, but these are really good. And you know what? Once they become a faction, which I can only hope they will in the Total War series, these guys are going to be good. They might even be the best gun type unit in the game, with maybe the exception of Ogre Kingdoms. They might not be the best overall, but I think they'll have the best utility. Could be interesting to see how they do it. Kislevite Cavalry, so that's a mid-tier cavalry. Basically a variant of the Kislevite Spearmen and Swordsmen. Armoured shielded army infantry. Good and fast riders, Kivlets can always rely. These are just good cavalry. You know, they're not Empire Knights, but they're not yeomanry. So yeah, good strong. Pretty fast as well. Tsar Noble Cavalry, so these are slightly better than Empire Knights. Armoured shielded, anti-large. These are kind of to make up for the fact that you don't have Bear Cavalry and the like. They're anti-large, which is obviously what you need, and they're pretty heavily armoured for anti-large, obviously with only a few better units, probably Blood Knights and the like, and of course Grail Guardians, Grail Knights, Noble Cavalry, in the service of the mighty Tsar, elite mounted warriors with an excellent charge. Yeah, they're pretty good. They do have very good charge actually. Okay, Ungol Horse Archers. Yeah, these guys are pretty good. You know, they don't have the range of some of the other Horse Archers, but their armour's certainly better, and indeed their melee attack and melee defence and weapon strength is better. They're very fast. You know, if these are kind of perfect for attacking other people's archers. Look at the size of their goddamn axes, though. It's insane. Look at that. I like these guys a lot of utility, and I do think, again, can't quite read all this. There are some fastest cavalry in the world, but lack the discipline of regular army units. They're trained to fight with bow and arrow from a young age and love to run rings. It's a shame you can't get that Cantabiran circle going on, because these guys would be perfect for it. Very, very interesting units. Ungol Horse Archers, a lot of utility as well. Most of Kislev has a lot of utility. Obviously, they don't get the focus of the major faction, and they shouldn't, because they're non-playable in most mods without using like something like the Krynos faction unlocker that has its own issues, shall we say. But really, really cool, and a good look to them. Kislev, as I say, very biased. So let's have a quick look at Estalia. And we will let a little battle play out, but maybe not quite as long as we normally do. Okay, so we'll just go down. This is obviously the AI. It's made it like this. Light Riders, decent melee combatant. They're actually very similar to the Ungol Horse Archers, but not quite as good. Decent melee, very fast. They're extremely fast. Jesus Christ. Radious, if you watch this, why are they so fast? Or is that kind of their thing? I don't know enough about these guys. Light Cavalry Troop of Responders has chased plenty of greens. I suppose they're called Responders. I like them a lot. I mean, they might be extremely... They're not going to really annihilate anybody, but if you can get them behind somebody, it's artillery or something, that's really good. So, light cavalry. Aventuro Pikemen. Armoured, anti-large, and charge defense. These are kind of mid-tier pikemen. I like them a lot. It's a shame you don't get pike formations in this series of Total War. Southern Tercio formation of pike and shot forms the core of their army doctrine. The very best pikemen were given the title of Venturo, well-trained veterans, often an employ of local law. It's a good anti-large infantry. It's a shame you can't get the pike formation, or the phalanx formation, something like that, but maybe a wee bit overpowered. Border Rangers, and these are probably more the Border Princes faction. I probably will put them in that video as well, but they were available in this rota, so I thought I'd put them in. These guys are exceptional. They really are quite exceptional. Good range, decent melee combatant, vanguard deployment. Excellent range. I don't think there's an option to write excellent range. I mean, in fact, some of the best range, apart from the truly elite high elves. Good armour, reliable, irregular patrols in the Southern Realms. These rangers can take a bow and an axe like to any foe testing the borders of the human realms. Yeah, look cool. They do look like the Border Rangers types as well. I really like them. I really, really like them. Okay. What have we got here? Dualists. These are kind of mid-tier, maybe slightly mid to high-tier infantry. Stalwart sort of infantry. Look at this mustache. It's beautiful. Armoured shielded, anti-infantry, charge defense against all. Good armour. expert charge defense, which is always nice. Swashbucklers are very valuable units and are at the fore of most battles. They are fierce and aggressive, recruited from among the numerous cutthroats, bandits, and renegades that inhabit these realms. Yeah, they're pretty good. They look pretty cool as well. Okay, just a standard general in the Empire. Look at these guys. And, I mean, I absolutely adore these. They look awesome. And look, the bloody ranged units. These are like, I don't know, like the free companies with armour. Armoured, armour-piercing missiles, decent melee combatant. Obviously their range is small, as it should be with a handgun. 87 armour though, which is very good. If they had charge defense, they'd be insane. Everything about them is good. Nothing's exceptional, but everything about them is good. Trade and coin and lifeblood of southern ways, and those hired in protection, some of the best equipped and paid soldiers, to be fielded. Armed with an ornate flintlock pistol and the finest Estalian steel blade, these plate-clad veterans will protect their merchant princes whatever the cost. And they look extraordinary. Extraordinary, I must say. Okay, what have we got here? Bruska's Halberdiers. Armoured, armour-piercing, damage-dealing. These are pretty heavy units. Interestingly, not anti-large, but I suppose they are halberdiers, so they're more focused on armour-piercing. The most hardened of veterans, the southern principalities. The Bruska Halberdiers have held the ground against all manner of monstrosities from bad bloods, and have all paid the price. So these are elite level units, or heavy level units. Very good. Very, very good. They'll get against chaos type units in particular. Oh wow. Knights of the Righteous Spear. Armour shielded, armour piercing, damage dealing, magical attacks, and of course armour piercing with decent armour. Incredible, incredible armour on these guys actually. The Order of the Righteous Spear is one of the largest orders of Templars in the Old World. Most of their number is spread through Estalia and Tilia, but chapter houses can be found in the Empire, Bretonia, and the Border Princes, and even Arby. I do know quite a lot about these guys. If anyone's interested in lore, I would check out them. They're quite interesting. These guys look a little bit ridiculous, but I like it. Armoured, anti-infantry, melee expert, vanguard deployment. Bretonian Lord helmets. Yeah, so these are kind of your frenzy, and they've got physical. These are pretty hardcore, actually. Trained for millennia in the deadly ways of the arena, the Tilian gladiators find open spaces of a battlefield surprising but full of opportunity. Few dare stand one-to-one against a ruthless gladiator seeking fame and freedom. Now, obviously, these are Tilian, but the Estalian, Tilian, and Border Princes roster's a little bit mixed up, deliberately so, to give them a little bit more oomph, shall we say. I like them. I like them. They look insane, but I do like them. But I probably will have them in the Tilian roster as well when we do it. Okay, dismounted Knights of the Righteous Spear. Well, I think you know what these guys are. They're the dismounted variant of that. And they are unbelievably good infantry. These guys are going to hold the line. They're not cheap, though, in the game, as they shouldn't be. Very, very cool. Conquistadors. I might have to give Estalia a game, you know. Some of these units are really interesting. So armoured, decent melee combat. You know, these are decent, just cavalry. But then they've got bloody range units. They're a bit like pistoliers, but like on steroids. And look at their cool helmets. These are really hardcore pistoliers. Equipped with lighter and more easily used handguns than arquebuses, these men ride into battle on trained war horses, which are not scared by loud sounds from the master's firearms, armed with a steel breastplate for protection, which men are born to in Estalian's hopes of total conquest of the New World. Yeah, maybe we'll have to give it a start, maybe just in my own time rather than a campaign series, but these guys are super cool and super useful as well. And of course some Trantian crossbowmen. Armoured, armour-piercing, and decent melee combatant. Armour, leadership, speed, range. These are just better crossbowmen, but they've got quite a hefty amount of armour. I know about these guys as well, but let's read. Trantian crossbowmen are elite units of heavily clad and shielded bolt throwers. Now obviously you can't put shield, well I suppose you could put a shield in the back, but it wouldn't be able to be used, so I wonder if these guys should have maybe a bronze shield. They probably should, you know. Although they are pretty awesome, so I don't know. Rain down, armor-piercing bolts on the toughest of opponents. So that's a pretty hardcore selection of units. Let's do a very quick fight, because I have taken a little bit longer. And of course, I've fielded a few more Estalian units than Kislevite soldiers, and they do have slightly more elite units in general. So I think the reality is they will win this. But let's just have a wee look at what's going to go on. See if we can get any sort of think we can. Any sort of charge? Holy shit, border rangers. Range. They are firing on Kislev swordsmen though, so they're pretty well guarded. Oh yeah, these are quite interesting. Oh. Okay, so it looks like most of the charging is going to go on over here. No, that's not going to be good for you. You are getting pummeled here. Oh, the generals there, let's go. They're pretty equal. Dualists and Kislev swordsmen. Yeah, there we go. We won't let the battle fight because it's a bit of an odd one for us. But I'm quite impressed by the rosters, actually. I was a little bit worried before making the video that it wouldn't flesh out enough, but I think there is enough, you know. And obviously, I'm sure with the Radious mod, if they were to be made major factions, they would get even more flesh. But I think, you know, adding 10, 11 new units to a non-playable faction is pretty incredible. So thank you very much, Radious, and thank you, folks. We will do another video where we will do the Border Princess Estalia. Probably quite a quick video because it'll be quite a mixed roster generally. And we'll have a look at some of the other factions. Obviously, requests below. This video series has been pretty popular, though, so we'll keep making this. And thank you, folks. See you for the next one.